There's a couple of parts to this. Certainly privacy, control, cost, wanting to assurances that your data is not being exposed to a cloud model or a third party. Like if you look at a lot of standard NDAs that organizations have with their own clients or customers, those NDAs will typically preclude the ability to share data with a third party. Once you start to lose chain of custody of that data, then you've essentially shared with a third party, and that becomes a real consideration. Now, if we step back and we're pragmatic, this isn't about just with this or that. It's typically a combination of both. Like Broadcom uses frontier models for lots of use cases. It's not use this or use that, but there's also some practicality here. It's like if I need to know where the milk is, I don't have to go and ask a rocket scientist to tell me that milk is probably in the refrigerator in my house, right? I can infer that with a lower degree of intelligence, and it's the same thing when you start to think about AI. That I can start to look at different expert models for different types of use cases. So rather than send a request to a frontier model to figure out what data I have to retrieve, or to do some basic language translation to name a couple of use cases, I can localize that. I can then use that I can do this local reasoning or even completions locally, given the use case. That's going to save me on egress. That's going to save me on token costs. So this gives you a way to get the best of both worlds. And then there are times where I need to just fully isolate a language model as well, depending on the use case or the sensitivity of IP. So at the end of the day, you're thinking about architecting where you can have some gateway services and I can have some localized reasoning where I can decide what makes sense to go where. And when you do it right, the savings are dramatic. We're seeing customers that are seeing savings upward of 60 or more percent when they start to really add a little bit more sanity and structure into how an AI prompt is actually processed and what model it's taking advantage of.
Yeah, so at Vectara, we have a end-to-end agentic platform that you can use to build different applications. And the good thing about us is like we have a SaaS offering. We also support VPC deployments and on-prem as well. Now we are seeing the most demand for the on-prem option. Our customers, they feel way more confident trying out POCs as well as going to production with on-prem. And that's why I'm super excited about the partnership with VMware. And when we ask them like, okay, why don't you want to use SaaS, right? So it's just not it's not just that they don't want to use our SaaS service; they don't want to use any model provider in SaaS as well. And they're scared about data leakage. That's the one of the biggest reasons. Second is that they don't want to depend on somebody else, right? Like companies these days, they're subsidizing all this token usage costs. At some point, that VC money is going to run out. They're going to increase the prices. What happens then? Third is like the governance, the sovereignty, and once their data goes outside their network, they have no control over it, right? These are the main reasons we see where people say that they want to stay on-prem, and that actually helps them go to production with AI much faster because they do not have to worry about this part. Otherwise, the approval processes to go to production, everything would take way more time because now they need to vet every vendor. What are they doing once they get the data?